Welcome to the OmniDog and OmniCat comic book review show. I'm OmniDog, and this is my co-host, OmniCat.
That's me.
Hey, OmniCat, how's it going?
Oh, all right. Like I was telling you, I have to tell everyone. I got off work this morning, so I'm running on very little sleep, and I'm trying. So, if something doesn't make sense, ask me to clarify it, and maybe I'll wake up. I'm drinking coffee out of this cool mug.
Yeah, let me
You
highlight
know,
that mug because that Nickelodeon mug is boss.
it's pretty great. All the good characters on here.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone.
we're
So
off to a
good.
good start there already.
Definitely.
That is really cool. Um, so you've pulled the night shift now because some schlub quit or got fired or something
Yeah,
happened.
our overnight guy left, so that's me until we find a replacement. And it is I mean, anyone out there who works overnights, I applaud you because it's been difficult for me. I really don't like it.
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And now what's your t-shirt say? Murdering the family?
Murderino fan cult. This is from my favorite podcast, My Favorite Murder.
Oh, right. You've told me
Yeah.
about that before.
Oh, it's so good.
Rodzilla Roar. Awesome. My first live stream. Yes, I'm old. Well, you're probably not older than I am, Rodzilla. So you got that going for you. We are going to talk about the books we've read this week. And I'm going to give away some books because super awesome super awesome comic fan donated some books to me and said, give them away to, I'm not going to tell you, don't tell them my name. Don't tell them anything about me. I'm just doing this, paying it forward, giving away cool comic books, and just give them away to friends. I just saw the word friend in front of me. Who's the one without sleep here? Just give them away to people in the chat. And this is going to be a live chat giveaway. So people who are in the chat will be able to I'm going to give away two things. One is from Super Awesome Comic Fan, and the other is from me, OmniDog. So I'll give away something to match my friend Super Awesome Comic Fan, and I've got enough to do two more. So let's see. Next week, Batter Days in the Batcave is going to be taped, and by taped I mean recorded. That shows how old I am. I'm still using my VHS tapes.
I mean, I work in TV and we still say things like tape delay. So that's
okay,
a term.
good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Joe Cool is on an OmniDog Marathon today. Joe Cool, what have you watched? Have you watched? Did you start out with the Omar show where we went over the previews, and then you watched A Walk in the Woods at Midnight, my horror show, and now you're doing the OmniDog and OmniCat show. I don't know how you're doing it because I'm sick of looking at me. So
I don't know how you're doing it.
How I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You don't even know. My wife, we're having some of her best friends over to spend the night. They're like stopping off on their way back to Philadelphia where they live. And so my wife, who goes into Martha Stewart mode whenever something like this happens, she left me, there's been a checklist that's been going on for 2 weeks now, ever since I got out of the hospital. And today there was major league checklist going on. So in between all these shows, I've been doing like washing the shower curtain, vacuuming the steps to the basement and all this stuff. And I've been like, okay, check this off, check this off, check this off, check this off. And so in between all these shows that I'm doing all these things for my wife, because if I don't do these things for my wife, she's not going to be my wife anymore. Joe Cool. Yep. And your visit to the shrink. Yeah. Jenny psychoanalyzed me today on the horror show. She did a good job on it today. We disagreed on a movie for the first time ever, and so she analyzed why I might not like it. Why? Because of perhaps masculinity issues. Here's a callback. Taylor Brown, if Jess doesn't finish his chores, it'll be probation pie time. That's like a 3-year-old callback, probation pie. I'll have to tell that story. Maybe I'll tell it at the end of this. Is your maid sick? We have a housekeeper that comes once a month. That's it. Here's Michael Lombardo. He's a winner. I can absolutely vouch for the book giveaway. People really do win. Michael Lombardo won last time. Yeah, Taylor Brown had a deep cut. So let's go with, I'll tell you, let me just tell you what books I read, but I'm not going to review on this show because I'm going to do a big October spooky reads review on my own. And these books are going to be included on them. So you can watch for them, but it's too many books for this show, because if I did them on this show, it'd be like an hour just for me. So I did The Occultist, which is a Dark Horse book. This was from my friend Kyle. He gave me this book, and I will say I liked it. And then The Immortal Hulk, which is so good that I looked on Marvel Unlimited for follow-up issues, and issues like 11 through 16 are on Marvel Unlimited, and I am going to keep reading. It's so good. Although I'm not sure I consider this a horror title. People keep saying it's a horror title. I don't know that I consider it a horror title. It's a good science fiction book, but I'm not getting the horror. And then three books of Nailbiter. Now that's a horror book.
I loved it.
Yeah, right?
I loved it so much.
Yeah. It's pretty horrifying. It's very disturbing.
Yes. Definitely more than Immortal Hulk. I've only read the first volume of that, but I kind of didn't really get that either. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I kind of don't get it. I sort of understand where people are coming from, but I'm with you.
It's more like he can't be killed and he's out for vengeance. So, but I'm not picking up. I love it. I mean, I love the book. It's great, but I'm not picking up on the horror aspect of it. I like the fact that he can't seem to be killed and that he comes out at night and looks for vengeance on those who have been wronged, and he beats the crap out of all those people that have wronged or kills them. One
I'd say
or
it
the
has
others.
maybe some like creepy elements.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it would be horror. I don't know.
Oh, now here's a nice compliment. We have to put up this compliment. Was planning on catching up on the Arrowverse since I'm extremely behind, but I'd rather watch OmniDog and OmniCat. Hayden McGee, you are our kind of guy.
Hayden is awesome.
You know Hayden?
Hayden has showed up in the Fangirls chat before.
Oh, he has.
And Hayden is awesome. Yeah.
Hayden, you are my kind of guy. Thank you very much. That's an awesome comment. Thank you. So yeah, those books I'm going to do. I'm going to read Coffin Hill, and then I'm going to do just a big 45-minute October book fest. So
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So why don't you lead off? I actually read some Kristan books.
Oh.
Yeah, I read some independent Kristan books, so I turned tables on you.
Like things I've actually read, or just independent books?
Independent books that have I think you might be interested in.
Okay, cool.
Unless I wonder if maybe you recommended them to me and I got them.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Here I am thinking, puffing up my chest, thinking, oh, I'm going to recommend these to Kristan. And she'll go, yeah, I'm the one that recommended them to you, smart guy.
I can't wait. I hope it happens.
Yeah, it probably will.
Well, I'm going to start off with an independent book then that no one will be surprised that I'm talking about, and that is Frog Catchers
Oh, good.
by
I
Jeff Lemire.
just ordered that.
Yeah, it is quite small, I will say. So I'm not going to go line by line through this because it is so small and there's words, but not too many.
That's very pretty.
Yeah, and I mean, I love his art. I know so many people have problems with it, but I think it's gorgeous. So it really kind of is about this guy who wakes up and he doesn't know where he's at or what's going on or where what the room he even is guys, I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
You're doing okay.
I've already started. Okay. It's one of those books. Again, I'm not gonna go much further into it because again, it's such a quick read, but you will feel all the feels, and that is classic Lemire. A lot of people say his stuff is too sad or it's all the same, but I don't believe any of that nonsense. I think this book left me feeling very hopeful. It is very much about life, and I got to the end and I was just like, oh, I need to live life. It's one of those books that inspires you to like get up and, look around at the people around you and just, it's one of those deep reads. Again, it's quick. It's very short. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's very interesting. You'll want to know what's going on with the guy and who he's talking to and who this kid is. And the art kind of, I'll give away this part. Well, maybe not that part because that spoils things. But there's a little bit of color throughout this, not much. It's toward the end. I mean, look at this gorgeous art. Like, I just love
what's going on there.
Yeah, it makes you interested. Again, I don't want to say too much because it's so short. But let me see if I can show you any of this cover. There's a little bit of color throughout. Like, okay, there's a picture that has some relevance. I'm not going to tell you about it, but I know all this review is like, I don't know, read it. I'm not going to tell you about it. But there's splashes of color and. Again, always deep meaning with him, and you'll feel all the feels. And again, I just feel like it left me hopeful, and I love the story. So I know this review isn't much of a review, but I can't tell you about it if I don't want to spoil the whole thing. So just check this out. Frog Catchers by Jeff Lemire. It is a total independent book. I think it's Gallery 13 that put this out.
Gallery 13?
Gallery 13. It's an imprint of Simon & Schuster. But I've never heard of any other comics or graphic novels from that. So you're not going to see too much of a discount on like IST for it, but it's a little book, so it's not going to cost you much. It's a little hardcover. But it's totally worth your time. Again, it's one of those books that makes you look at your life and be hopeful and want to live it. So totally recommend Frog Catchers.
That's a pretty big recommendation to make you look at your life and be hopeful, because I look at my life and I'm hopeless.
Well, I totally recommend you read this then, and
maybe I better read it right away.
Maybe you'll feel all the feels. I mean, a lot of people said, oh, so sad, and I'm just like, I guess there's sad parts about it, but such is life, right?
Yeah, you know what book I treat like it's radiation poisoning is Upgrade Soul. I just haven't gone near it. It is like kryptonite in my collection. I haven't gone near it. I know I'm going to have to read it, but I'm like, I don't know if I can take it. I don't know.
It's just a lot. It drained me. I still think about it. But it's one of those books, like, what other books am I still thinking about? Not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it took hold of me.
Hold of you. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy pants. I've never read anything so crazy pants. Yeah. It's a lot, but I would love to know what you think about it. So one day you should read it.
Yeah. All right. I will. Once I'm done with my this week, I will be done with my October readathon, and maybe I can devote my time to Upgrade Soul.
It's worth it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just know
Yeah.
you'll be drained.
Well, I'm drained right now.
Yeah, well, there you go then, right?
I read a book called, let's see, let me fix this. The Activity. I don't remember buying this, but I ended up having 2 volumes of it, volume 1 and 2. Nathan Edmondson and Mitch Gerads, 2 pretty big names in comics. Um, this just shows what it shows about me is that I just go out and buy books and don't necessarily plan on when I'm going to read them. I just went to the image section of my library and said, I haven't read these yet. I wonder, I should just read them. So it's about super secret intelligence gathering and like um, like Navy SEAL team, only more black ops than that. And so here's the art, and the art is, of course, Mitch Gerard, so it's really great. And it's about these missions, these different missions these guys undertake. Some of them are successful, some of them are not, some of them are different, some of them are require them to regain assets. And when I say assets, I mean people in the field. Some of them require them to kill people or destroy information or do other things, take out enemy locations, take out information-based systems. It's very interesting, and it's, I don't know how, given how quiet and deep, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Deep intelligence, deeply held. How quiet these things have to be, how black ops they have to be. You know how I don't know how he came up with some of these stories, because these stories all seem like they're almost real life, real possibilities. And there's no way he could have known any of this, because they're buried so far deep into the government. There's no way he could have known any of them, but they seem extremely realistic. And what I really liked is it included the failures as well as the successes. And they took the failures, very seriously. The leaders on the failures took it very seriously. They took it upon themselves that they failed, but the teammates on the team wouldn't let them feel that way, but they still felt that way. So it was all it was kind of, it wasn't a lot of bang bang action, because it was really quiet. They had to move quietly. They had to get into rooms quietly, take people out quietly, gather the information quietly. So it was really well done, and I liked it. And I liked it enough that I want to read book 2 that I bought at some point in my life in the past 6 years, or whenever this was printed. Let's see when it was printed. Oh boy, is this tiny print. I'm getting old here. 2012, yeah, 7 years. So The Activity, I really dug it. It's all about the blackest of black ops and how quiet things can be, and just what's involved. And not everything's on the up and up, as you might expect. But I really dug it. And it was it's Image Comics, and it's 7 years old, and I think the second volume is probably 6 years old. And I liked the first volume well enough that I want to read the second one.
It looks like there's 3 volumes on IST.
Oh, 3 volumes. I'll read the third one too then.
And the third one's 60% off.
60%.
Yeah, you better run. Use that discount code.
Okay, wait. The activity, volume 3. Volume 3, 60% off. Because
Making
I'm
a
also
note.
supposed to get, I am making a note, I'm also supposed to get the What If volumes, volume 1.
Oh, that complete collection?
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks fun.
yeah. I'm supposed to get that. That was 2 shows ago when Omar told me to get that. That was
Nice.
10:30 this morning. Yes.
I'm sure you'll write down more today.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
I get like half of what you suggest, so
Well, my next read is one that I've been planning to read for years now. It is one of those things people are going to see and be like, I've read that 100 years ago. And I'll be like, that's fine. Because I haven't, and that's Mouthguard.
oh, I haven't read that, but everybody
Okay.
loves this book.
Everyone does love it. I mean, look at this cover. Like, I love David Peterson's art. Let me take this off. These are nice, little, cute hardcovers. Look at how cute. Oh. This first one's fall. I've only read the first one, so I can't speak to the other ones yet. But I mean, just the art alone. Like, what are we doing here? It's so gorgeous. How do people do this? Like, I mean, come on. So yeah, if you haven't read it, it is of course about these mice who are in a guard. So they have a little capes and little weapons, and everything's little, and I love it. Look at them fighting a snake. What's going on here? I mean, what's not to love? It is beautiful. But yeah, you follow this group of mice, and of course there ends up being mice villains, and they've win against the guard, and the guard are like an army of mice who are like good mice and doing what's good and what's best for everybody. I mean, look at this. I just love this art so much.
What is that? Something attacking the mouse?
Yeah, it's like a big crab. Yeah,
Holy smoke! How's he get out of that?
well, you got to read it to find out.
Oh,
But it is broken up to these chapters, which have little recaps, and it's just like it's really well done. Of course, because everybody loves it, right?
yeah.
And it's taken me forever, but I got to jump in now. I've only read this one, and then I started reading spooky reads because this isn't quite spooky.
Yeah.
Although, hey, crab versus mouse to that mouse, it's spooky, right?
Yeah.
So they go on like all of these adventures, and there's deception and all of these like things they have to battle, and they have to find their friends who get captured, and you care about these mice as people. You know what I mean? They're very human.
Yeah. How does it compare? Does it compare it all to Scurry?
Well, this came out before Scurry. I'm pretty positive. They're similar in the aspect of like
Mice.
mice in the human world, right?
Yeah.
Although so far in this world there aren't humans. The difference with Scurry is more like apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Because they wake up and the humans are gone, and the humans like matter to the world, so they're trying to like fight to survive. And I think I described it as like kind of a Walking Dead situation, but with mice. And this is more like, battle mice. See, they have little axes, and like it's about the guard, like
Yeah.
but you do like you follow like specific mice. You get to know them. I can't remember anyone's name, so I'm not even gonna try. But you care about them a whole lot. I believe there's 3 books in the main universe. I'm trying to find my shelf.
I think one of them's out of print, isn't it?
Is it?
I think one of them.
Oh no.
It's hard for me to find because I was thinking about getting into it, and one of them went out of print.
Well, crap. I'll have to look it up. But
Okay.
I think they're readily available at comic shops. I believe maybe I got this one at a comic shop.
Okay.
And I mean,
Maybe
they're little books, so they're pretty. Let's see, the list on this is 25. That's not too bad. It's Boom, or an imprint of Boom. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And you get to know these universes because like this is more about the town or one of the towns, and you get to learn more about each little character. I don't know. I loved it. It's definitely worth your time. Again, I believe there are 3, and then there's like one side book, and then there's the Legends books, which aren't David Peterson. They're all like all different artists and writers. And there may be more coming. People watching probably know more than I do, but I'll have to see which is out of print, if any.
Yeah, Lloyd Wong and Taylor Brown are having a Jess beatdown party in the comments. I do not have the activity book 3. I have been cataloging on Book Buddy and Goodreads. What is it? Goodreads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have been cataloging. I have not been. Been double dipping at all. So listen, you two, knock it off. My former friend Taylor Brown, who I do a show with, sitting there beating on me in the comments. Gosh darn you. Okay. So here's the book that I think that I found on my own, but you probably you probably reviewed it last time, and I bought it based on the fact that you reviewed it. The Taylor Brown trying to have a friendship with you like you do with Tyler Blunt.
The TV.
Yeah, Book Buddy is amazing. Heard about it from Jess's vid. Okay, so PTSD?
I've read it, yeah.
Damn it! You were the one that told me about it then.
I haven't reviewed it on here, but I have read it.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well then where did I find out about it? Because my first second...
I mean, if you ever watch Fangirls, but I don't think you do. But I talked about it on there.
Okay, well, PTSD is an excellent book, and because first of all, it starts out with a really cool cutout cover, and it's about a girl in an unnamed city from an unnamed war, and she's having trouble. First of all, she's quite sick, and she has pain meds that she's running out of in this overcrowded, really terrible city. But she runs into this kind of lovable mom and her lovable little girl who are starting up kind of a outdoor diner situation. This young woman suffering from PTSD is not welcomed there are a lot of homeless vets in this area, and she is not welcomed into it. As a matter of fact, she ends up having a battle with another veteran unit, and the battle takes place in the public streets, and people really don't like her when that happens. But she ends up finding a huge amount of medical supplies, and she goes on. She gets a friend, and while this young woman with her little girl starts feeding the homeless, this other vet with the pink hair that nobody cares about starts treating them medically. And so it gives her a purpose, and it gets her off her own pain meds. And it's really a very interesting look at PTSD. What happens when, the society they're in isn't paying attention to these vets at all. I don't know what war this is supposed to be. It's a war in the future, I guess. It looks like it may be an Asian war in the future. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's a grimy and gritty city that they're in. And it comes when she finally gets the trust of the veterans by treating them medically, and she starts accepting the help of the woman who's giving out the free food to the vets. And it becomes a nice, heartwarming tale. If you can read through the first part of it, which is really a tough read, because there's so much suffering going on. You know, when you have PTSD, you're sick, you're hooked on pain meds. It's not an easy thing to go through, and they have flashbacks constantly to the war. But this book is really well done. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really bummed out that I didn't get to spring one on Kristan, but it's still, I highly, highly recommend it. That this is way out of my wheelhouse, because as I've been saying recently, I'm getting sort of tired of capes and tights, and this was a great book to get me out of that. Because this was wonderfully illustrated and really well written in a nice little package. So PTSD by First Second Books, and I dug it a lot.
I love that art.
Yeah.
And my favorite character in that book was the dog.
The dog, yeah.
I love that dog. I mean, he you know, had a great big role. I mean, I love that little family too. They were great.
Yeah, the mom and the little dog, daughter.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I love how there's this type of Kristan book that's instantly recognizable. Omar talked about PTSD in his latest haul. I wonder if this is a Kyle book. I mean, it could be, but usually I keep those separate. I don't know. I'll have to send a text to Kyle and see. The next book's definitely a Kyle book.
I mean, you had it pegged on me though. Like I've read it, so you nailed it.
Yeah, I knew that this
was.
Yeah, I knew this was right up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I mean, First Second.
First Second, yeah.
All right, I'm curious if you've read anything from this next book, which recently came out. It is a collection of comic strips. That would be the new Nancy.
Oh, I've read her on her webcomic.
Yeah, this is
she is hilarious.
Oh my gosh! Well, I mean, these are in newspapers. This was, I believe, all of 2018. But this recently came out. This collection by Olivia James. A lot of people are probably familiar with the strips that have went viral. Sluggo is lit. Those sort of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so funny. It is so funny. It's all modern. She did her, own take with Nancy, and she's killing it. We still, to my knowledge, don't know who she is. Like, she's kept her identity secret. That is not her real name. There's an interview at the back of this book that, okay, camera, what's going on here? There we go.
There you go.
Where she went to a con. She made an appearance. She put a hoodie on and sunglasses because people thought she was other artists and writers for a long time, and they tried to find her, and she was like, well, I exist and I want people to know that. So it's very fascinating, her story.
Oh, so she's protecting her identity. She won't let anybody know who she is.
Yeah, so Olivia James, not her real name. No one knows who. I'm sure some people know, but
I love it even more now.
Yeah, I haven't did a deep dive into that, but there is a fascinating interview at the end here about that, and she doesn't do a lot of media, and she doesn't go to cons or anything like that, so no one really knows who she is. But yeah, she also never thought she would get this job, and she's just got a fascinating way she started doing this. But yeah, you can read a lot of this online, and in your newspaper. These were, these are in newspapers, but they're so good. It's such a modern, fun take, and I love her art. It's so simple. And this just had me laughing the whole time. I don't laugh out loud at many strips. I feel like I like a lot of strips, but there's so many that aren't great and they're not actually funny. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But these are actually funny, and it's such a relatable modern take on the story and the character, and it's so fun. It's just really, really fun. I totally recommend this.
Nancy,
this collection's
I'm
really
getting it.
too. Yeah.
Is it just called Nancy?
Just called Nancy, a comics collection by Olivia James. But I think it's all of 2018.
Yeah, when Nancy, well, of course, I'm old enough that Ernie Bushmiller was still doing it when I was a kid. And my mom used to rail on Ernie Bushmiller saying, this is the dumbest strip that ever it used to be. There's no joke that it's like 3 rocks in the background and there's just Aunt Fritzy she just railed on it, how simple it was. And it was funny. And
yeah, they go into like the history of Nancy in this interview. Which was originally
published.
Does it mention
elsewhere. My mom, how she was anti-Nancy the whole way?
Well, it mentions like how things have changed, and the strip itself hadn't really changed until she took over.
Yeah.
This was also a really great essay by Hillary Price about how many like female authors are really writing strips, which are not a lot, especially drawing them as well. Like it's a whole thing. And she kind of goes into that. And they go into like the old, like, you know, of course, sexism back then with Nancy and the problems of, you know, her aunt and things that like Olivia changed and why she changed them. And this hadn't really happened until she took over, which is weird because she didn't take over that long ago. Yeah. So it's fascinating.
I want that book.
Yeah, I think you'll love it.
I'm going to get it along with activity 1, 2, and 3. I mean 3.
Well, 2 and 3, yeah.
I have 2.
Well, you have 2,
I mean,
okay.
3. Because 60% off.
Right.
Okay, now let's see. Let me get to my...
You'll want to move the camera. Are you there, Jess? Oh, he's gone.
Now you can see.
There he is.
Okay, I know what I did wrong.
Everyone's like, he's gone. Is it silent? I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Okay, I goofed up. Okay, now I got it right. Okay, so super awesome comics fan. We're going to stop at the halfway point and give away a book. I have 2 sets of books to give away. You have to be watching the show to get this book. This is a live giveaway. It's just lost. So you have to be watching. And here's what you do. Here's my email address. It's omnidogsvault2@gmail.com. Let me put that in the right here. omnidogsvault2@gmail.com.
People are asking if it's open beyond US.
No, because I have to pay for the shipping. Sorry, guys. It's just for the United States only. I'm sorry. But I have to pay I have to pony up for it. So I can't pay $50 for shipping, especially this book, because it's The Goon Library Volume 1.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Those are really nice.
Yeah, these are really nice. So this is The Goon Volume Library 1. If you are interested in this and you live in the United States, please send your name into OmniDogs. Did I spell it right? OmniDogsVault2@gmail.com. And I will take all the names and I'll put them into a random number generator and pick a winner and send the book to you. Free. Everything's free. I will pay for shipping, and super awesome comics fan is paying for the book. So we will, once again, the book is Goon Volume 1, which I think is out of print. I think all these are out of print.
I think they all are because he owns them now.
Yeah. So I think this is out of print.
And it's massive for anyone who doesn't have that book. Like,
yeah.
It's oversized.
Yeah, it's a library edition that's giganticable. So OmniDogsVault2 at gmail.com. Send in, let's see if we've got anybody sending in anything yet.
What if the whole chat is everyone who's not in the States?
Goon
I know
giveaway.
there's several people who are like, no.
Good. We've got a couple people.
Okay, good.
Got a couple people that are sending stuff in. Okay, good. Goon giveaway. That's fine. Yeah, I'm afraid Canada is too far to ship. That's an international shipping thing. I apologize. You guys have a wonderful country in Canada with your fabulous universal health care and and your wonderful
syrup
and Northern Lights and things like that. So poutine, yeah. So so we'll take a break there, and we'll come back after the next book and pick a winner, and then I have one more set of books to send out, and they're really good.
It's like Christmas already.
Woohoo! Christmas in October. Yeah, if you walk into Costco, the trees are already up.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah. Let's see. So, who just went?
Me.
You just went?
Nancy.
Okay. Okay, this is a mind-blowing book. I hope I can possibly give it the proper explanation. It's called The Grand Abyss Hotel. And it is done in, I guess, what is called landscape form. You know, it's not done like that. It's done this way. And it is what comics are truly capable of. I think it is a wonderful book. It's not an easy book to read. It's not an easy book to show. It's a wonderful book that stretches the medium. It starts out with a prologue, and it's got all these talking heads, sort of like Dark Knight Returns. And what it is let me read the back, like Kristan knows I'm so famous for, because this will give you a good idea of what this book is about, because the way it goes about it is really boundary stretching with amazing art, and it doesn't have a central character in it really, and it doesn't have anything for you to grab hold of. It does have a story, but it's definitely kind of a genre bending one. In Grand Abyss Hotel, neoliberalism has become a state religion, while the citizens quietly and then not so quietly rebel, giving way to violence on the streets and sowing chaos. A masked vigilante takes on the role of hero to battle politicians, the erosion of democracy, and social media. After the fires burn low and the dust settles, social order returns, or does it? And it's a political satire where things are actually really bad. And here's where this masked vigilante guy sort of jumps the fence and battles all these guys. But he doesn't really become a central figure in like V for Vendetta. You only see him this one time. And then we go into a way that the story's told through social media this way. And it's things are like less is more, and your taxes are higher, and the stock market's doing worse, but you're being told that things are better, and it's actually better for the economy, and it's better for you, and it's a remarkable book that deals with deals with a government that is spinning out of control and a populace that is restless and starting to question everything and is rebelling. And one of these talking heads that is gets one of these talking heads like you'd see on TV now is captured, taken to the Grand Abyss Hotel, and placed in a room by himself where he has to perform in an experiment that he has always said, you know, you can survive. Like you can survive on 50 euro a day or something, and so this group captures him, puts him in this hotel room, and says, now you're going to live this experiment where you are actually going to have to live on such and such a day. And they make him perform in this experiment that he's been espousing as a political reality, you know, saying that the economy is not that bad. You can actually live on such and such a day and get by. And so they force him to live on that and to see, to make him see what the reality is. And so as a political satire book and political commentary, this book is truly remarkable. It was written 3 years ago and it's finally translated into English now. And it is amazingly prescient because it's like it foretold the future of what's going on in the world and especially the US today. I don't know that it's everybody's cup of tea, but I give it an A+ for design and concept and doing with a comic book, stretching the boundaries and making something of a comic book with only what a comic book could do. I mean, you can only do this with a comic book. You couldn't do this with any other art form. And I consider this a remarkable book. I would look it over first in a comic book shop and see if it's for you. It's pretty amazing, but I'm not sure it's for everyone. So that is how I'm going to review that.
That sounds fun to me.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I know that format is like hard to show off, but I kind of really like books like that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And they open well.
Yeah, they're hard to put in a shelf, but
yeah.
Other than that, actually, I have a random number generator, and I'm going to give away the book right now. And let's see, we have 4 people. And it is going to Travis Gilmer.
Yay.
Travis.
What a good free book to get.
Travis Gilmer, if you could email me your shipping address, you will be getting... Oh my God, this thing weighs like 7 pounds. Travis, you will be getting this book. If you can email me at omnidogsvault2@gmail.com, you will be getting The Goon Volume 1. So there you go.
Nice.
After we get done with our books, I have one more set of books to give away. And let's see, I think that leads us to you.
Yep, I'm diving into your favorite, and that's manga.
Yeah, I
But
like the last manga we read,
well, and this
even
one
though it made me
really,
throw up.
this one won't make you throw up. So there's that at least. Of course, I had to get it because of the cover. This is called Cats of the Louvre. Here's the deal. I knew nothing about this going in. I was just like, I want it because of the cover, right?
You're a
And
cat
cats.
head.
I mean, you know, it happens. But it's a great little hardcover. Look at the spine. I love it. So that main cat has two different color eyes. So this story, again, I don't know what I was expecting. I was just like, I have to get it because I love cats, right? I'm the OmniCat. But it blew me away. So there's this woman. She gives tours at the Louvre. And she's really kind of over it. She does it all the time. She kind of says the same things. And she's just really, it's a mundane life for her. And she's really kind of over it. So you meet her, you meet some other people who work at the Louvre. There's an older guy who's worked there for many, many years. And there's a new kid. It's the new kid who works there. He follows this guy around, and it's like the middle of the night at the Louvre, so no one else is there. And he goes up into like maybe like a tower part of the building, and that's where all these cats are. And the guy's feeding these cats.
Like how many cats?
Like a good amount of cats, maybe like 8 or so.
Okay.
But you know, they're in the Louvre, so that's not right. So this kid is like, wait, are they supposed to be here? Like, do people know about these cats? What's going on? And the guy's like, they've been here forever. I feed these cats. Like, don't worry about it, whatever. So, you know, you don't really know much more than that. And there's this little white cat who's on the cover, and he starts running through the whole building. So these cats stay up in this one area mostly, so the humans can't see them. But this one cat starts kind of showing up throughout these tours this lady's giving, right? And also you go back and forth between the cats like looking like cats and looking like this, which are kind of humanoid cats. So you get to learn about each cat, and they talk like humans. And
will the cats talk?
Yeah, they look, I don't know if you can tell, but they look like weird humanoid cats when the humans don't see them. So you kind of feel for them more because they have human elements, and you learn a lot about these cats and their story and what they've been through. But the most fascinating part about the whole thing is you go back to this woman who gives the tours, and again, she's kind of over this place. She does the same thing, and she starts seeing this cat within the groups of her people, and she's like, wait, what? There shouldn't be a cat in the museum. Like, what's happening? And she meets the older man, or talks more to him. She's probably met him, who has worked there forever. And he tells this story to the new kid and her, where he talks about his sister. He said he's worked there since the beginning of his life, pretty much. His parents worked there, and him and his sister, when they were very young, used to run around the Louvre at night when no one was there, and she would jump into paintings. And she would disappear into them, and one day she just never came back. And his sister's been missing since she was like 6 or so. So he's always wondered where she went, what happened to her, and he's been looking all his life to find what painting she disappeared into, but he can't find her. So their stories kind of connect there. The woman believes him when no one else ever believed this crazy story he told. So she goes on a mission pretty much to also find the painting she disappeared into. And it turns out this little white cat can also jump into paintings. And
whoa, this book sounds awesome.
Yeah, so live throughout like the paintings and explore within there. So, you know, his sister who is in a painting somewhere, it kind of overlaps with the little white cat story, and you kind of realize like his sister hasn't aged because she's been in the painting, so she's very young, and so is this little cat. This little cat hasn't aged, so their stories kind of overlap within what's happening in the cat world and what's happening in the human world, specifically with this little cat who hasn't aged, who's also a child, but he's been around for like 8 years, so it doesn't really make sense, right? It has these like crazy magical elements like that. And again, even if you feel like you're not a cat person, like it's not really about the cats. It's really about this old man and trying to find his sister within the paintings and this group of cats, but like their stories interlap. And it is just like, I don't know what I was expecting, but this was so good and so unique. And I mean, it wasn't just a fluffy cat story like I thought it would be. Like, this really got to me, and it was so emotional and, like, again, fascinating. It's just such a unique
neat
book. Yeah. And the ending was just spot on because it's pretty thick. And I was like, is this going to land? Because I was so into it.
Yeah.
You know, and you just, I worry sometimes when I've got a thick book that I've been enjoying the whole time. And I'm like, if they don't land this ending, I'm just going to be mad the whole time, right? But they really did. And it was just like so, so good. And I loved her story. And she helped the whole situation. Like, I don't remember in the ending, but it's a lot. And the art is just like beautiful and so unique and different. And I really loved it. So I would totally recommend Cats of the Louvre. And again, it's a nice little hardcover. So it's good for your collection. It has like a, I don't know how to describe this like texture, but it's an interesting texture. And this spine, come on, that's a good spine.
That is a cool book.
But yeah, it was fascinating, and I loved everything about it.
And now, where is that a library book, or where did you buy it?
I bought it. You can get it on IST.
Oh, you can buy it on IST. Cats, yep. What, of the Louvre?
Cats of the Louvre.
Cats, I might get that.
I think you would enjoy it. It was
I think so too.
Very interesting and fun, and you like the magic stuff, and it's kind of mystical, and
yeah.
You'll want to know what happened to the girl and that whole story, and I loved it.
Yeah, that looked really cool. Let's see. Should I give away the next set of books, or should I read? Do you have more books, or was that it?
I have one more.
One more? Okay, I have one more too. Let's give away the next set of books, and then we'll do our last set. This is a Valiant set that has come out. I now own it in hardcover, but it's a Valiant that doesn't tie into anything. It's a stand. It's a standalone. It's a standalone. You don't need to know anything about any Valiant characters whatsoever. It's a complete standalone series, and that is Britannia. It is the 3 trade paperbacks that I was going to give to the library, but I think it'd be more fun if I donated it or I gave it to a viewer, a listener, a watcher, a chatter, somebody-er. And I will read to you the description. I haven't read it myself yet. As soon as it came out in hardcover, I decided I needed to have it. Let's see. The world's first detective is about to make an unholy discovery. Ruled by the fates, manipulated by the gods, commanded by Caesar, in the year 65 AD, one's destiny was not his own. At the height of Nero's reign, a veteran of Rome's imperial war machine has been dispatched to the farthest reaches of the colonies to investigate unnatural happenings. In the remote outpost of Britannia, Antonius Axia, the first detective, will become Rome's only hope to reassert control over the empire's most barbaric frontier and keep the monsters that bridge the line between myth and mystery at bay. That's the first one.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Second one, God stalked the world of men. 50,000 Romans stand on their feet, watching from the rafters of the Colosseum with captured breath as Achillea, a gladiator unlike any that Rome has seen before, faces incredible odds, one lone warrior against 5 of Rome's greatest. Such is the tradition when a female gladiator enters the fray. When the carnage is complete, the Colosseum roars its approval as Achillea stands victorious. Now only one match away from winning her freedom, she has begun to gain renown. The women of Rome, suppressed by their husbands and fathers, have noticed. The men of Rome, husbands and fathers to a growing horde of women entertaining ideas of independence, have noticed as well. On the other side of Rome, a strange mystery swirls through the Palatine Hill. In the dead of night, down winding alleys, Rome's elites swear they see visions of a blood-soaked Apollo walking the city. visions that are driving them mad. Even more are becoming sick with weird fever god dreams. Panic ensues the city. The chief vestal, Rubria, is arrested by Emperor Nero and threatened with crucifixion unless the deadly curse that's fallen on Rome is lifted. She asks Antonius Axia, hero of Britannia and Rome's only detective, for help. She offers only one clue: the gladiator Achillea. So these are cool books. These are really rocking cool books. 3 series, 3 trades of Britannia, and I will put my email in again. OmniDogs Vault 2 at gmail.com. And if you would like these books free, send your name in and I will put them in a random number generator and I will send them to you free. These are not in canon with any other Valiant books. These are standalone, like the fabulous Dr. Mirage book, which is one of my favorite books ever. So yeah, wait, I can even show you art. So there you go. Right on, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
You give away all the good books.
I have more. I have tons that I have to give away to the library, but I'm thinking I should do it like all it costs me is shipping. I'm gonna, as long as I have books to give away from Super Awesome Comic Fan, I'm gonna give away some of my books too. I've got some cool books to give away, so I might as well do that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Is it my turn or your turn?
Your turn.
Okay. I read a remarkable book last night called Snow Glass Apples by Neil Gaiman and Colleen Doran. This is a story where the queen is a wonderful, beautiful queen, and Snow White is evil. And it is a wondrous tale of how the queen is seduced by the king. The king already has Snow White as a daughter. And she is seduced. The king seduces the queen. Well, she's not a queen until she marries the king. And they have a wonderful life together. Except that Snow White is a frickin' vampire. She bites the queen's hand, sucks the blood out of it, and it heals up, and scabs up, and disappears and goes away. But the experience leaves the queen extremely disturbed. Now, something happens to the king. They were having a nice life, but all of a sudden the king starts getting sicker and sicker. There are all kinds of cut marks along his body, and he gets weaker and weaker and can't fulfill his husbandly duties. And he ends up falling ill and dying, which makes the queen the queen. And he dies. The queen becomes the queen. I don't want to tell too much about this. It's Neil Gaiman, so it's extremely well written, and Colleen Doran's art is fantastic. She has Snow White, the vampire, taken out into the woods, cut up, and has her heart brought back to the queen, where the queen has it hung above her bed. I hung it from the beams above my bed, placed it on a length of twine that I strung with rowan berries and with bulbs of garlic, and it was still beating. And so there at rest for many a year, and the kingdom prospered, and things went well. And then all of a sudden, things started to not go that well. And you're just going to have to read the book to find out why. But in this book, it's really remarkable that the queen is the good guy and Snow White is the evil one. The art is beautiful. Neil Gaiman's writing is absolutely spot on as usual. And I loved it. It's a quick read, but it's a fun, fantastic read. Neil Gaiman, as usual, just nails it. And I found it fascinating, fun, and a real quick turn of events. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. Snow, glass, apples.
I've been wanting to check that out. Neil can't do wrong.
You're right. He does a great job in this book.
Is that only text boxes? Because that's all I saw as you flip through it. Like no speech bubbles or anything.
There are some speech bubbles.
Okay. Just probably not much.
Not a lot of speech bubbles, but there are speech bubbles. But you're right. It's mostly text boxes. Yeah, mostly text boxes. But there's small text boxes.
All right. I'm going to end it with another manga. I've become that person, but I'm showing you things I think you'll like. And of course, it's October. So Junji Ito, I had to read another one. This is Shiver. It is a little hardcover collection of short stories, which I love as short stories. So, you know, it's full of creepiness. This first one was great. It's called Used Record. It is about these two best friends. This girl goes over to her house all the time to listen to this little 7-inch of this song. And it's just this woman, there's no words, and she's singing. It sounds like live. Toward the end, she kind of just drifts off and it gets really quiet. And you hear people kind of whispering in the background. And you find out this record is some really rare record of this jazz artist that was recorded as she was dying. Really, it's after she died. So she's dying, like something happened. She gets hit by a car or something. I don't remember. And she's like, before I go to the hospital, I want to record the song. So she like crawls into the recording studio, and it was kind of like after she actually was pronounced dead, like she was singing. So it's creepy. So everyone wants this record after they hear it. So of course, you know, people are fighting and people die because they want this record so bad.
Wait, I'm sorry. I missed the first part. Who's this by?
Junji Ito.
And what's it called?
Shiver.
It's Shiver. Okay.
Collection of his short stories.
Yeah. All right.
So this is just the first one, but
okay.
So I won't like give away the end or whatever. But you know, it's creepy, and this happens like everyone wants this record. So when someone dies and they've wanted it, like they start singing the song after they died.
The dead person sings the song?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you know, it's creepy. And what's cool about this collection, if you know, at the end of everything, he does like a commentary on it, and he talks about like how he got the idea and where it came to him and sort of the process. And then the next page is always like his notes, which is really cool because you know it's translated over here. But often the story is completely changed from his original notes, or it's very similar in certain aspects, or like he improved on something. So it's interesting from that perspective too, if you care about like how, especially with these kind of crazy stories, like how do you get there? Like how do you even pick up the stuff, you know? Let's see, another one of my favorites, if I can find it.
I have a couple of Ito books. I should go grab one and include it in my October read. I should probably read both of them.
Because, you know, it's always creepy and really good. This one's about this guy flipping through a magazine at like a diner, and he sees this model who you can see her with the dark eyes, who's horrifying. And he's like, how did she become a model? Like, how did that happen, right? She looks crazy and really creepy. So of course, he ends up meeting this woman who, let me I'm like talking about it and I don't know where she is. Let's see. Oh yeah. He's a short film maker, like an independent filmmaker, and they need models. So his friends are like, oh, get her. Yeah, that'll be good. Like, let's get her involved. So they call her in and they cast like this other really beautiful woman and then her. And so they, you know, of course, meet her in the middle of the woods to film this, like, this movie. This is them in the car. And there she is, which she's very tall and like super creepy looking. And, you know, of course, I'm just kind of going to ruin this one, but of course they get in the woods and she's mad that she's not getting as much screen time as this other woman. And she's like, well, why is this? You casted me too. Like, you need to like let me have more screen time. And she goes away with one of the crew. And of course, you know, she eats them as you do when you're horrifying and you have crazy teeth, right? So, I mean, these are just so good because it's horrible and they're all crazy and just the craziest ideas. Okay, this one was really great too. It's called Hanging Blimp. And this was crazy. So it starts out this girl. I'm trying not to like ruin everything, but these are just some selections. This girl is like hiding in her room and she keeps hearing her own voice outside of the window. And you're like, what is happening? Like, where did this happen? So then they go back in time and kind of explain that there are these, let me find a picture of them. There are these blimps that start appearing in town that are of the face of yourself. So like there would be a big blimp of my face or like your face. And they're coming around town to, man, of course I can't find it when I'm talking about it, but to hang the person's, like if it's you, that's coming around town to hang you. So it has like a rope at the end of this blimp of your face that talks to you and tries to get you to come outside so it can get you by the neck and like kill you.
Yeah.
So you see all of these like floating heads that come after you like this. and try to kill you, right? I mean, this is just crazy looking. Who thinks of that? So like,
I don't know.
There are just these really unique stories that are horrifying. And I'm like, I have to read this in October, right?
Oh my gosh.
And it's just, and they're so great because like who think like look at how creepy that is. Like you think about it and you're like, oh yeah, that's horrifying. Like,
oh my gosh, it's so horrifying.
So yeah, I loved every story, but I will say the one at the end, I didn't puke at the dissolving classroom, but
I did.
The one of them toward the end really was extra disgusting, and it got me. I was just like, oh, I can't deal with this. It was about like this family lived above a barbecue restaurant that like the dad owned, and it had really poor ventilation. So all of the oil like got caught in the walls and everything was super gross and like greasy, and it would get in like the futons and the comforters, and everything is just oily and gross. And
I'm going to throw up.
It's just really nasty. So if you don't like nasty stuff, maybe skip that one. Although I guess there's nasty stuff throughout it. But that one like really grossed me out. But the rest of them were just like fascinating and creepy and crazy. And I mean, look at all this. Like, so if you like Junji Ito, this is great. It's just one of his short story collections. And I really did love it. So I would recommend it.
Okay, 1 second.
Michael is asking if I recommended some books by Tilly. Yeah, Tilly Walden, Are You Listening? Recently came out, and I loved it. I've loved everything she's done, though. So anything
Let,
she's done, check them out.
let me see if I have Shiver. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see if I can show anything else in this. There's another great one where there was like a puppet family, like a family that went around and like did puppetry, and one of the brothers grew up and became really obsessed with it.
I do have Shiver and I have Tomy.
Yeah, I'm currently reading Tomy. I just started that one, but yeah, Shiver. Check out Shiver.
I think I'll read Shiver for October.
Do it.
And there's
Again, you'll probably be grossed out by that one story because I was super grossed out by it. But
just by your description made me nauseated.
Yeah, it gets worse than that. But
and here's Stephanie Summit, who is the winner of the Britannia books.
Yeah, awesome.
And Stephanie, if you would like to send your shipping address to my email, omnidogsvault2 at gmail.com. I will get these off to you Monday when I send... What's his name? The Goon books. Wait a minute.
Travis.
Travis. Right. Good. That's fun.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy this one. Again, there's that one story that's super gross, but...
That sounds good, though. Yeah. I mean, I really want to read that. That sounds good and creepy. Dissolving Classroom was just vomitrocious.
Yeah. It's not quite like that. But again, with short story collections, you're going to get, things you like more than other things. But
what book was that? Oh, shoot. What's another book by Tilly?
Are You Listening is the one I reviewed last time.
And I read that.
Yeah. On a Sunbeam is really
On a Sunbeam. That's it. I want to read that. That's in the trunk of my car.
And then Spinning was an autobiographical graphic memoir that she did, which was also really great.
Is On a Sunbeam science fiction-y?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And I loved it. Yeah. And her art is just gorgeous.
I loved Are You Listening?
Oh, yeah. I forgot you read that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did like it a lot.
So that's approved by us both.
That's right. Just like PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, those are our books, and my house guests aren't coming until 5:30, so...
You got some time. Clean those stairs.
I already did it. I vacuumed them already. I was going to say, let's see. Jess, here's a question. We have time to answer some questions. Jess, do you have any overview vids planned in the near future? T2 Fallen, I don't think so. Do you have any... Oh, hi, Stephanie. Do you have anything in particular you want me to overview? Any of the Golden Age or like Silver Age World's Finest? Or I feel like I've done a pretty good job of overviewing a lot of those Golden Age and Silver Age books. There's certainly contemporary. There's certainly modern things that I could overview if you'd like that. So T2, feel free to email me or text me, or right now, if you'd like, or leave a comment in one of the videos. You're good at leaving comments for me all the time. Feel free to leave a comment on something you want me to do an overview for. I'm happy to do overviews. Hayden McGee, I did not pick up the new Omni of my girl Harley because I already had the oversized hardcovers. Here's a good question for both of us.
Really, he says Jess, though. So.
But I know, but I'm saying Jess, and I'm sticking in Kristan
Thank
there.
you.
What upcoming books are you looking forward to?
I know this week the Angel Legacy edition is coming out from Boom. That is collecting the really old Dark Horse comics. So I'm going to get those. I probably have those, but I'm going to get the new edition. I'm that person. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm that person.
Yeah.
Let me look at my IST wish list and
That's
see.
what I'm going over.
Let me see what. Let me see what I am looking forward to.
The Angel Varsity Edition hardcover, Volume 2, is coming out late this month, I guess. I like the Mark Waid Archie stuff. It's good.
Oh, yeah. I need to read that.
Yeah, I mean, these hardcover, I only have, well, there's only one out, but they're nice.
Absolute Art of Adam Hughes. I want to read that. That's an oversized hardcover, a way oversized hardcover. I really want to read that. Black Hammer, Streets of Spiral. I want to read that. Black Hammer, Age of Doom. I want to read that.
Ascender's coming out soon.
Oh, Castle in the Stars is now available on IST. Ooh. Volume 3. Too late. $14.99. That's a good price. I already bought it, so from Amazon. Gideon Falls, Volume 3. Mm-hmm. And why do I have Grass Kings Volume 2? Don't I already have Volume 1, 2, and 3?
Check your catalog.
I just looked upstairs. I've got Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Jonah Hex got resolicited as All-Star Western starring Jonah Hex. So I am wildly excited about that. I want that Jonah Hex omnibus, and I'm very excited about that. Lucifer omnibus I'm excited about. Sixth Gun Gunslinger Edition, Volume 6, which I think is the last one. I'm excited about that. Venom by Donny Cates. I think that might be next. I think that might be in November.
Oh, Animal Man by Lemire the Omni. Definitely getting that.
Yeah, Animal Man by Lemire. Now, I'm still on the fence on Absolute Swamp Thing.
Are you just scared of the other ones coming out?
If it's going to get canceled?
Yeah.
That's actually a concern, but I don't love the art in it. And I am the first one to say to people, that's what absolutes are for, is if you love the art. That's why you buy the absolutes.
It's fair.
And I don't love the art. I like it, but I don't love it. I mean, Kingdom Come, Justice, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, those are books where I love the art, and that's why I want them in absolute format. I don't dig. I mean, Swamp Thing's art is serviceable. It's very early 90s, late 80s, whenever it came out. It's late 80s, I think. It's very serviceable, but I know people love it, but I am just not one of those people. So I may just stick with my hardcovers.
It sounds like you should save the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. I think January, the Buffy Library Edition Season 11 is coming out. I don't know if you know anything about that, Jess, but you know I'm a huge Buffy fan.
I do know that.
Dark Horse came out with library editions, but obviously they lost the rights to that, and Boom is doing it now. Well, Boom announced they're actually going to continue them. So I'm very interested to see if they'll even be the same height. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like they're calling it a library edition, so that's awesome. And I never thought that would happen. I've never seen that happen, going from like the same format to another publisher. So I'm interested. I'm definitely going to buy it. I'm excited. But that's probably my like most anticipated of next year.
Yeah, you are a big Buffy head.
That's right.
Um, let's see. What other questions do we have? Um, do you know if there's a planned Gideon Falls hardcover? I can almost guarantee there's going to be one.
I bet, yeah. I mean, it's won awards and stuff now.
Yeah.
That'll be a
I,
nice hardcover.
let's see. I think the only question is going to be what size is it going to be? Is it going to be like a library edition,
Like Remender style?
like Black Hammer? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Image, so it's not going to be a library edition.
Right. Okay. Remender size then.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Oh yeah, Image. Image seems to only do Remender style stuff
For him.
for
Yeah.
Remender.
Yeah, I don't know of any other ones.
So yeah, I can almost guarantee that I will be donating my Gideon Falls to the library and getting a hardcover for that.
It's a good idea.
T2 Fallen comic books, something modern books, maybe Marvel. Any modern book will be good. Really, don't have to be Marvel or DC. This is for the overview. Something overview. So something modern books, maybe Marvel. Any modern book will be good. Really, don't have to be Marvel or DC. Maybe Batman Eternal. How about Batman Eternal? That just came out. I can do an overview of that.
That thing's huge too, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Kristan, what newspaper strip books were you missing?
I mean, plenty, Freddie, but I think you may be referencing something I mentioned before. I'm collecting those Mickey Mouse, like those old. I guess they're not. Are they strips? You know what I'm talking about? Fancy graphics, the box sets.
Oh yeah.
I forget the name of the guy who did them. But there's 2 color editions, Sunday books they came out with. I have the first one. The second one's grossly out of print.
This is Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, maybe that's what you mean, Freddie. Because, I'm missing that one. And I'm sad about it forever because I'll never find it.
Jess, if I was you, I'd do that.
Do what? Oh, Eternal. Maybe?
420. No, it took place that was at 424. That was before I said that. Joe Cool, to what are you referring? You do what? Jess, if I was you, I'd do that. That sounds like good advice. So I'd like to know what you're talking about. Here's a good question. I asked this before, but with the Omni coming, can I just read Animal Man Omni by itself, or is Snyder's Swamp Thing required to understand everything?
I've been told you can read it alone. I
also think you can read it alone. There is that crossover with the red. It's Animal Man has the red in it, and then there's the green crossover. I don't know how important that is. It's a small crossover. So I would think you'd probably be okay to read Animal Man Omni by itself. I'm going to go out on a limb. Yeah, I'm not going to be wishy-washy. I'm going to go out on that limb. Right, Kristan?
Yeah, everything I've heard says that, because I'm buying it with no knowledge about any of it. I just see Lemire and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that. It's the first Lemire Omni ever. I have to.
Okay. Batman Eternal sounds good to T2. Good, good. A walk in the woods question. This is for Kristan.
Oh,
Do Kristan and or Reed have a Halloween watch list? Do you have Halloween movies you watch?
you know, we don't. Maybe we should. I can't even think of anything that we would watch right now that we have or have access to. But we're not big like horror movie people. We like spooky stuff, I guess, but I don't know. You have any recommendations, Michael? Let me know.
Jess, I meant keep the Swamp Thing HCs and not get the absolute. Okay. I think I'm going to agree with that.
Sounds like the right move.
I think so too. I think you're right, Joe Cool. I think you are right.
Oh, Freddie's saying he feels there was a Spider-Man or Peanuts. Yeah, Spider-Man. Let's see. I think the Spider-Man newspaper strips, Volume 1, went out of print before I could grab it. So that is something I'm looking for. Do you have any of those, Jess?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, the newspaper strips collections.
I don't. Newspaper strips, I've got the beginning of Peanuts. I've got some Pogo. Pogo and Peanuts is really about all I've got. I got to pull out my letters from Charles Schultz.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know. I can't believe he wrote me letters back in 1968.
That's really cool.
I know.
Yeah, most people probably wouldn't do that.
I know. It was at the height of his popularity. It was like
Yeah.
when Snoopy was. I think they named an Apollo docking craft after Snoopy or something, and he was at the height of his powers and everything. And he must have written me 6 or 7 letters, and I
You
just
need to
kept
frame
writing him. And I just kept writing him these dumb. I was 7 years
You're a kid,
old.
yeah.
I wrote him these 7-year-old dumb letters.
That's cool.
Michael Lombardo, I saw The Blackcoat's Daughter, and I think that's a little too stabby for OmniCat. I loved
I
it.
don't like the stabby.
Yeah, I loved it, and it's the movie that still haunts me to this day. From the movies that Jenny and I review, it's still my favorite movie, but I think it might be a little too dark for Kristan.
I like a good like psychological horror. That's my kind of jam.
Yeah.
Not so much like gory stuff.
Right.
I mean, I can handle it, but I'm just like slasher stuff. I don't care.
Oh yeah, and I have Calvin and Hobbes. Lloyd Wong's reminding me of Calvin and Hobbes. I have that. I have a lot of Zippy the Pinhead.
I have some Mutts books, as you know.
Oh,
I got really
yeah.
good Mutts.
Mutts. I got
So
lots
good.
of Mutts books.
So good.
Mutts is so great.
It's just one of those things like it makes you happy no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mutts just makes me smile every morning.
Mm.
Jess, have you or do you plan to review the Conjuring universe movies? We did the first Conjuring. I think it's up to Jenny if we're going to do any more Conjuring. We did do the first Conjuring, and we both enjoyed it a lot. So, as usual, this episode cost me money. I'm going to be buying Nancy and Cats of the Louvre.
Nice.
You're
You're gonna read Shiver because you already have it.
Yeah. Fortunately, I have it.
Yeah.
So, do we have any other questions? Or you guys? We've been on the air for an hour and a half, so we've given it our all. We've left it all out on the field.
That's right.
We've pretty much done everything we possibly can to please you all.
I drank all my coffee, so.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I need a cup of coffee, as a matter of fact. Hayden McGee, what movies are those? Can you name them? The movies they released this year are the best of the franchise. Now time to relax, Jess, or Badder Days or something till still. I have an hour till company comes. So
just live stream your whole hangout. Once you become that person, you know you've gone too far, right?
Live streaming, like when my friend's coming over?
Yeah, just like everybody talking at the table for 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
People do that.
Here's something. You can use that in-stock weekend discount code for all those books. Thank you, Michael Lombardo. That's true. Curse of La Llorona and Annabelle Comes Home. I am not watching Annabelle Comes Home. I do not like haunted dolls at all. That freaks me out.
I remember that trailer. Yeah, I don't love that either.
No. Here's a good compliment that we can end the show on. Great show. Thanks. Giveaways were fun. Thanks for doing that. Good. Well, we will keep doing those giveaways because I'd rather give them to people that I know that are watching us and supporting us than just random people at the library. So I've got enough to keep doing it for a while. Michael Lombardo, yes, I am doing Baltimore next weekend with Omar and his wife. Omar and his wife are going. Yeah.
That's going to be a good con.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody I like is going to be there.
Like me and Omar, you mean?
Yeah, you and Omar, you know. And Jeff Lemire, you know.
Is Jeff Lemire going to be there?
Yeah. You don't even know when you're going.
I'll have to take Plutona for him to sign.
Just throw it away right in front of him.
Just, hey, here's your book. Root beer all over it. That's what I think of it, Pally.
That book.
Okay, so, Kristan, where can they catch you and the fangirls next?
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Omnibus Collectors Network. We do a show there every Sunday. Also, I just started a comic-specific Instagram. If you want to follow that, it is at The Comic Slayer, because I love Buffy. So you can check that out if you want.
At The Comic Slayer.
That's right.
And it's all about comics?
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yep.
At The Comic Slayer. Cool.
I only just started, so there's one post, but I'm going to keep at it, and you can see what I'm reading if you'd like.
Right on. Good. Well, we fully support that. Let's see. Michael Lombardo. Yep. Random people are the worst. Yeah. I'd rather send them to you guys. You can catch me, OmniDog, on this channel, OmniDog's Vault, and on YouTube and on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault. Let's see. You can catch me on OmniBros Live tomorrow at noon, where we will be doing news. Monday night, where we will be doing hauls, previews, and reads. And then sometime this week, where I will be doing my October reading, because it just grew by a book, because I'm reading Shiver.
Yes.
Yes.
I did it.
Kristan did it.
I'm converting you to manga.
You
Slowly.
are. You are. A book at a time. You are doing it.
See, there's some good stuff in there. I know what you'd like.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah. So, on behalf of my co-host, Kristan, I say to you, everybody, please leave a comment. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We care about you all.